Yeah, I'm Denny from Grove City, Pennsylvania.
Okay, do you support the war in Afghanistan and Iraq? Do you think we should stay longer or leave earlier or what?
Well, if we're going to stay, I suggest we really win and play to win. I'm not convinced that some of our leadership is ready for that. I know our generals are. I think our generals are capable and willing to do what they've got to do. I'm a retired Marine, so I know how to play the game. Are our politicians prepared to make the sacrifices that might have to be made? Maybe not.
Oh.
War is costly.
My name is Cecilia Goodell, and I'm from New Hartford, New York. It sounded so reasonable at the time, but our Holy Father John Paul II was against the war, and he said it would just be an awful thing and many people would be killed. So I listened to him, and I always supported the troops, but we know history, and we know sometimes that wars are perpetrated by evil people for evil reasons that the average person doesn't even know about or understand. So I can't wait for it all to stop.
And you feel the same? I think that's a great point. Do you feel the same way about Afghanistan?
Sometimes that's cloudy. Why are we there? You know, Barack Obama ran on the premise that he was going to bring everybody home, and that's what we all sat around the kitchen table talking about. Maybe if there's a new presidential policy, maybe we can have peace again. Maybe we can bring our kids home. And it's not happening at all. Just war begets more war.
And what about Iran? Now people are talking about attacking Iran because they're going to have a nuclear weapon soon.
Iran has some evil people in its government, and I think there are over 7 countries that have access to nuclear power, and now Iran is twinning with Russia, and it's all atheistic communism, and its tentacles are spreading all over. It's just the acceleration of evil. The evil it's all around. You pick up the newspapers, it's all around. It's terrible.
What do you think about Barack Obama's foreign policy? He came into office saying that he was going to repair America's relationship with the world. Do you think it needed repairing, and do you think he's doing that?
I think I don't think he's tough enough with other countries. I think he's trying to smooch people, and I don't think he stands up for us. I don't.
Where you're from?
Larry Maxwell, Patterson, New York.
Excellent. We're leaving Iraq next week. Do you think that's the right approach? Do you think that we should stay longer, or we should have left earlier, or what?
I tell you, that was a difficult decision even to just get into that war, because Iraq was a buffer between Iran and Israel. By going in there, we basically removed that buffer. So I'm not sure. I mean, I do believe all that stuff about weapons of mass destruction. They did find stuff, but you know, being over there, we removed a buffer to Iran, and there's going to be serious consequences. Look at the role Iran is playing now with all this nuclear policy, and Israel threatening to go there.
So what about Iran? Some people in this town talk about the possibility of a military strike against Iran. Do you think that's something that we should think about to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon?
Stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon?
Yeah, through a military strike. Do you think that's something that we should contemplate?
I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know where our position is. I mean, are we the world's police? You know? I mean, we're having a lot of trouble here and a lot of problems here. I'm not sure where our role comes over there. You know, of course, the United Nations would be the place for that, but the United Nations, nobody listens to them. So I guess, you know, I can see, again, back to why we did what we did in Iraq. When we're looking at Iran, you look at North Korea, you know, there's danger. You know, the intolerance, I mean, they have said they want to take over the world. That is not just somebody else's opinion. This is what they're saying. But is it our role? I don't know.
Brandon Molitor from Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. We're getting out of Iraq this month. Do you think that's the right thing to do? Or do you think we should stay longer? We should get out earlier?
I think we should stay longer. We've never left any other country, and we shouldn't leave Iraq. We need to keep troops there and keep bases there. Same for Afghanistan. We shouldn't stop the wars.
And what about, so Afghanistan, the president actually increased troops. Do you think that he's committed to winning there? Or
I think he's committed. He did send in more troops, and I thank President Obama for that, but I think we need to send in even more troops. More troops.
And what about Iran? Now people around town here are talking about maybe military strike against Iran because they're going to have a nuclear bomb. What do you think we should do
I
there?
think that Iran is going to be a war that's going to be coming up here really quickly in the next few years. I think it's going to be, I think it's a 100 years war that we're involved in. I think it's going to be lasting a long time.
What about China? Do you believe China is a military threat to the United States?
China is an economic threat right now. I think in the future that's World War III.
What about Israel and the Palestinian territories? They're going to have talks next week here in Washington. It's basically one piece of land. Two people want to live on it. What can be done there?
Well, for that, I hope that Israel and Palestine can come to an agreement and share the land, do whatever they need to do to quit fighting all the time. I hope that war ends. That's been going on too long.
And so Barack Obama came into office promising to repair America's reputation in the world.
Yes.
Do you think the reputation needed repairing, and do you think he's doing a good job of that?
I think that we're doing what we need to do as Americans, and I think the rest of the world maybe doesn't like it, and that's tough luck.